It's beer o'clock on Real Ale Craft Beer. It's just started to rain here in Real Ale Craft Beer HQ, i.e. the conservatory. But we're here today to show you two lagers. Two lagers, which one is the kind of real copy, the real authentic, not copy, beer. And this is Peroni Nastro Azzurro. 660 milliliter bottle. There's the white bottle cap with the red ring around the top. It's coming in at 5% ABV in a green glass bottle. Now, depending on how you buy this, if you buy it in Tesco, you can buy it on its own for £2.30 a bottle. If you buy it as part of the 3 for £5.50 deal, according to my mathematics, it comes in about £1.80 a bottle. So a 50p saving in Tesco if you buy 3 bottles for £5.50. So that's the Peroni. On the other side of the fence, we have it looks like a Peroni. It's got the green glass bottle. It's got a gold bottle cap on it. It's a 500 milliliter bottle, 5% ABV, and I think it very much mimics Peroni. But this is Aldi's Rossini Italian Lager. Aldi have a very, very good way of mimicking a product, kind of getting very close to not quite getting a copyright kind of lawsuit against them, but they come very, very close. If you have a look at the other beer on the shelf, they got a beer called Birra Mapelli, which is an obvious rip-off of Birra Moretti. That's coming to the channel very, very shortly too. So let's get these beers out into a glass and see what we get then. I'm well prepared today, I really have. Really well prepared. I found a bottle opener. There we go. Right. Let's get the proper Peroni open first. There is a slight difference in the price. You're talking 31p because the Rossini comes in at £1.49. If you buy this on a deal, it comes in at £1.80, but you do get 160 millilitres more of beer. The authentic Peroni is 660 millilitres, whereas the the Rossini Lager comes in at 500 ml. So there's a look at the Peroni then. I've used a widget type glass with this one with a 3 to 4 finger white head. Good levels of carbonation as the beer rolls up the glass, and it's a straw coloured looking lager. Very clear to look at. Lots of carbonation rolling up from that etching on the bottom of the glass. So that's the Peroni. Now for the Rossini, I would have liked to have used a very, very similar glass to what we have here with the Peroni glass, but I can't really use that because it doesn't have an etching on the bottom. So I'm going to use a slightly different glass, and I'm doing that because it has the etching on the bottom, and I want this to be a completely fair beer review. Cool, that was a little bit, even from this distance here. I opened it from like nearly a full arm's distance, and there was a little bit of skunkiness as I opened that bottle. I'm just working the price out in my head. I don't think there's that much difference, especially if you buy it in a deal. If you pay £2.20 for one bottle, then it's definitely more expensive to buy the Peroni. But if you buy the Rossini, and then you buy 3 bottles of Peroni in Tesco, I think with that 160ml, that 30 pence price point, I think it's about the same, I reckon, per litre as the Rossini is as the Peroni. I reckon it's very, very similar. So let's put the 2 beers together then. Let's have a look at these. Let's top up the Rossini a little bit. They look very, very similar. Very, very similar looking beers. Almost identical carbonation. The Rossini is holding a slightly larger head, but that might be something to do with the glass. Let's crack on with the Peroni then. Let's get the aroma. Little bit of skunkiness coming through, but a little bit of kind of spicy pepperiness coming through at the same time. There's a hop character coming through, a stinging nettle hop character. It smells okay. Let's dive in. Cheers, everybody. A light, crisp, refreshing lager. I can see why it's a very popular beer in the UK. I can totally see it. It's just got that kind of lovely, even though I said it was raining here in the conservatory, it's held off a little bit now. But even though it's raining, it's a little bit muggy in this conservatory today. I ate a big roast dinner about an hour ago with all the vegetables and the meat and everything. And this is working quite nicely, actually. A little bit of skunkiness, nice bitterness coming through on the Peroni. It's got a really nice, bitter, hoppy kind of punch to it, if you like. Spicy, peppery, a little bit of sweetness from the malt to begin with. Lovely kind of bitter balance on that back end. It's all right. My views on lager have changed in the last 2 years. I never used to like lager. Never used to like all the carbonation. Till I found room by putting on a stone of weight around my stomach area. I can seem to consume a lager better these days because I'm a little bit kind of maybe a stone or two heavier. I've stretched my stomach a little bit. I always used to find years ago a lager, it always used to kind of bloat me out. But anyway, aroma. So this is definitely more skunky. The Aldi Rossini lager is definitely more skunky than the Peroni. I was right when I opened it. It's quite skunky on the nose too. A little bit of malt. Let's dive in. I reckon that's brewed in France. That has all the hallmarks of a French lager. Really light. Really, really light. Really quite refreshing. Nicely carbonated. A little bit of sweetness to begin with, but a bit drier. I would say it's a little bit drier than the Peroni. And I would say it's on a... This is going to be close with the bitterness. It's quite bitter. It's quite bitter, but on first reflection, the Peroni has the edge on the crisp bitterness, I would say. Let's make sure. Let's get back into the Peroni. Yeah, it's starting to come now as I'm speaking now. It's just catching you on the back here, on the back of the throat. Nice, crisp, refreshing bitterness. Very similar. Very, very similar. Very similar. Aldi have done a really, really good job here of replicating Peroni. God, that is so. Now it's funny, isn't it? Because now I'm drinking the Rossini, and I'm thinking that the Rossini's got a little bit more of a rolling bitterness coming through. That little bit of skunkiness is in both beers. So this has been produced for Aldi stores. It's not saying where it's been produced. I reckon, if I was to guess, this Rossini lager has been produced in France. It's got that lovely French lager. You know the little stumpy bottles of French lager you get? It's got that lovely kind of French lager stumpy bottle. Kind of cheap but cheerful. Cheap but cheerful, but good. You know, pretty good kind of taste to it. I'm going to have to kind of pick a winner here. It's so tight. Initially, when I opened the bottle, the Rossini from Aldi was definitely a little bit more skunky. A little bit more of a kind of a skunky aroma coming through. Not so much in the taste. It's there a little bit. I would say now the Rossini's a little bit more bitter. I'm gonna have one more taste. I'm going to give it to the Rossini. I just think it's just that little bit more crispy and that little bit more dry that I like in a lager. The Peroni is slightly sweeter. There's literally, it's so close. I mean, blink and you miss it close. It's such a... Aldi have done a really good job here to replicate Peroni. It's a really well brewed beer. It's a split hair. It really is between the two. I'm going to say 7 out of 10 for the Peroni. I'm going to say 8 out of 10 for the Rossini lager from Aldi. I hope you liked the video. Please put your comments in the comments box. Subscribe to our daily beer and food reviews. Give us a big fat thumbs up. Boom. Cheers.